I don't know what this says, guys. I'm really disappointed. I think that's dead. Oh, jeez. I don't know what this says. Something about mercy? That escalated so quickly. Well, there was nothing I could have done about it, guys. I mean, I think even if I said no... Like, I was expecting this to happen if I said no, not if I said yes. Like, you know, that would have made sense. I don't know why this is going on for a while, too. What is all this? It's probably something super important. The game's just screwing with me. Okay. Uh-huh. Something about pizza rolls looking like Tide Pods and Tide Pod Challenge, and Ugandan Knuckles was behind the Tide Pod Challenge. Oh. No, seriously. What's going on with this text? You know what I think it is, guys? I think there's so much of this text because it wants me to click through it real fast or to skip it. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep clicking on this because I feel like maybe something will happen if I do it that way. I'm going to try to not click too fast just in case something does pop up that we can read. And hopefully you're not too annoyed with this. This cacophony, this cascade of nonsensical shapes and letters and unending conversation. It is the poem of death. The gurgles. Well, actually, she looks pretty dead already, so I guess it wouldn't be the gurgles. Why did she do this? I think it really wants me to click skip or something. Is this just never gonna end? This is the text that never ends. I'm starting to get a little impatient. Oh boy, I'm gonna click and click. Something something. Make it real quick. Doodaloo. This is the song about this text that never seems to end. And the song itself is intrinsical to the text, so therefore the song never ends. Somewhere in another universe, because there's multiple universes, and we're all just shades of ourselves, and there's a version of me that just keeps clicking this forever and never stops, never ends, just clicking, clicking, clicking away. It's kind of like Schrodinger's cat, you know? Like, you don't know if the cat's dead or alive until you open the box and see which universe you're in. I knew it! Something's happening. Oh, good. I'm so glad something happened. We want to keep clicking this. Something's going on. The screen changed colors. See, the game's trying to get me to click skip, but I want to see what happens. But yeah, Schrodinger's cat. So, if you're not familiar with it, check it out. I mean, it's a pretty common thing. Now it's blue. Have we been here all night? Are we just, like, here with our dead body? That's weird. But, yeah, it's, you know, you don't know if the cat's dead or alive. Oh, in one universe, the cat's dead. In one universe, the cat's alive. Which universe are you? And then, you know, something like that, you know. Things like the Mandela effect are kind of cool. I check that out sometimes. Some of the things I agree with are weird, but, you know, I can accept that maybe I misunderstood something. But then there's other things with the Mandela effect where you're like, no, I totally remember it a certain way, and everybody else remembers it that way, but then it's like it's never been that way. It's just always been this other way that you've never even thought of. And I think maybe that's like a symptom of something else, you know? Like, I don't think the Mandela effect itself is something that's actively changing things. I think it's just kind of like a ripple effect. You know, something happened, and one of the ripple effects was the Mandela effect. You know? And if you're unfamiliar with what the Mandela effect is, the Mandela effect gets its name from Nelson Mandela. Apparently, a lot of people thought Nelson Mandela had died in prison when he was in prison for whatever. But then all of a sudden, years later, Nelson Mandela got out of prison. He became president. I don't know if I think he died at some point or whatever. But the point is that there's people that like remember a funeral and everything for Nelson Mandela, and then it's like, no, he was totally alive and he became president over there in Africa or something. And oh, now it's daytime. Okay. Well. Oh, good. Well, it's looking like we've been here all night with her dead body. That's not great. She get like blue under her eyes. Oh, this is just so unfortunate. I mean, I guess we'll just keep clicking on it and see what happens. Maybe it'll do that rewind thing. I'm kind of hoping. I really don't want Yuri dead. Like, that was going to be the one I was going to go for. Now the only options would be Natsuki or... Oh. Why does it look like something changed? Yeah, it's looking like that wound is changing. It's really weird though, because it's... Maybe I'm imagining it? I don't know. Oh boy. So yeah, multiple realities. That's something I think might be possible. It's feasible. I mean, you got CERN, and they're doing their particle collider, where they're smashing particles together and causing scatters and all that stuff. I mean, I'm more inclined to believe in multiple universe theory than I am to believe in something like, you know, aliens or whatever. Not a big fan of aliens. I mean, you know, what is an alien really? An alien is just some being we don't understand or can't comprehend, or is extraterrestrial, so it's like not from this planet. But I mean, if you think about it in retrospect, an alien could just be like extra dimensional being too, you know? Imagine there was a universe in which the composition of how a planet was, it doesn't even necessarily have to be Earth, but just wherever that universe's, you know, life form was, or whatever the equivalent of Earth would be for that universe. You know, even if it was different by a little bit, that could be an alien right there, you know, just because the physiology of that being could be so exponentially different, I guess, from what we perceive to be human. And honestly, you know, think about heaven and hell, what the perceptions of heaven and hell are, right? What if what we perceive as heaven and hell aren't actually afterlife things? What if that's another dimension? What if there's a heaven dimension and a hell dimension, and it's just like this hellscape or this heavenscape, and the things that we perceive as angels or demons are just beings from these different dimensions that somehow found pockets or whatever to get on through? I mean, that'd be quite something, wouldn't it? If religion unwittingly was based on that. Ancient Sumerians were interesting. You should check that out sometime if you're into things like that. Apparently the ancient Sumerians had all this like crazy advancements in such a short amount of time. And yeah, she's for sure, something's changing here. I think her eyes are kind of different. It's like days are going by. What is going on with this? We're just going to keep clicking, guys. I hope you don't mind me talking about the ancient Sumerians here. But unless I'm mistaken, I saw this interesting documentary on the ancient Sumerians in which they were basically suggesting that the Catholic and Christian religions of Jesus and the stories in the Bible, for example, were perhaps derived from ancient Sumerian texts, and apparently the Sumerians had these very similar stories. And honestly, it wouldn't be the first time that Christianity or Catholicism have sort of borrowed from other cultures to better indoctrinate people into the religion. I mean, you'll notice that there's a lot of pagan roots in some of the, Christian or Catholic, Catholic religion stuff, like Halloween or other holidays. And, I'm not trying to crap talk religion or anything like that. If you're Christian or Catholic, by any means, I'm not trying to tell you don't do your thing. You go ahead and do your thing, to each their own. Not particularly religious myself, I don't think, but, that's just kind of me. Let's see. Oh boy, this is going on for quite a while, guys. I hope you don't mind this long tangent. Maybe I should make this its own video. Just upload this. Just be its own video, honestly. It's just me talking about ancient Sumerians and religion and aliens. Fun story. When I was a child, I lived in this house, and I'm not going to tell you the address or anything. But basically, my family had owned this house, and my grandmother and my grandfather, along with my uncle, I think, there was an upstairs and a downstairs to it. Okay, so me and my mother, we lived in a downstairs part, and my, grandparents or whatever lived in the upstairs part. And, long story short, one day I was playing with the neighbor kids, like the kids that lived directly next door to me. And I swear, I don't know why I looked up in the sky that day, but I can vaguely remember it. Maybe it was a dream, which is very possible, but I vaguely remember looking up in the sky while playing. Maybe I had heard a noise or something, I don't remember, but I looked up and I saw this object in the sky, and it was sort of like saucer shaped, right? I don't know what it was. All I remember thinking is it looks kind of like, I guess a UFO, you would say. And it moved really bizarrely, kind of side to side, and then just sort of took off in one direction real fast. Just like that, and it's kind of like if you just weren't paying attention, you probably wouldn't have seen it at all. And, I remember it just being so weird that it sort of stuck with me all these years. And I don't really know what I saw that day. I'm sure there's people that would say it was a UFO, unidentified aircraft or whatever, or that it was aliens perhaps. I mean, me myself, like I said, I don't really ascribe to the whole alien thing.